Good morning. Thank you for joining today's daily webinar where we discuss your daily questions live on the air. We cover certain topics. Today's topic is, can I open a solo 401k on my own? Go ahead and shoot over any questions you might have, and we'll go over those questions live on the air. All right. So typically, to open a solo 401k plan, you can do it on your own, or you can do it in conjunction with your financial advisor, even your CPA. We get a lot of clients from referrals from CPAs and advisors, and we work closely with those CPAs and advisors in helping to open up solo 401k plans. I would say that typically most of our clients will work with both their advisor and their CPA in opening the solo 401k plan, so they don't do it on their own. The ones that do it on their own are typically those clients that just want to open up a regular solo 401k with a company like Fidelity or Schwab, where it doesn't come with all the bells and whistles. That is, you won't be able to perform the mega backdoor Roth solo 401k strategy, or have the solo 401k participant loan option. So you would open up the solo 401k directly with the brokerage firm or the bank that offers solo 401ks, or even insurance companies, but they're very vanilla plans. You so while you cannot open a solo 401k on your own, because you always have to have a solo 401k plan document provider, whether it's a Fidelity or Schwab who offers a vanilla type of solo 401k plan document, or a full-blown self-directed solo 401k with checkbook wire control from a company like my solo 401k financial, whose plan also allows for mega backdoor solo 401k Roth strategy, as well as solo 401k participant loans, in addition to being able to invest in both equities and alternative investments. So again, it's not possible to open up a solo 401k on your own, but it is possible for you to do most of the work and open it with a brokerage firm if you're just opening up a non-directed solo 401k plan. But if you truly want a self-directed solo 401k plan, you are going to need assistance from the solo 401k plan provider as well, because they're going to shepherd you and assist in how to open up the bank and or brokerage accounts for that self-directed solo 401k plan. They will also assist you in making sure you're eligible to open a solo 401k plan. Not everybody qualifies to open a solo 401k plan. A solo 401k plans are for the self-employed. So those who are self-employed in a business that does not employ any non-owner full-time W-2 employees, and you also cannot employ any full-time common law non-owner W-2 employees who work 1,000 hours or more when you go to open the solo 401k plan. You do have that exception for spouses. If both spouses work under the same business, then they can both participate in the same solo 401k plan, but that business can still not employ any non-owner full-time W-2 employees. So again, while you cannot open a solo 401k on your own, you can certainly choose on where you want to open the solo 401k plan. What is more, when opening the solo 401k plan, once it's open, then you got to understand how to use that solo 401k plan. So you'll want to work with the provider who's well versed on the regulations, not only from a contribution perspective, but also from a conversion, distribution perspective, and an investment perspective. And then you need to make sure that plan document provider will also perform that ongoing require reporting so that your plan stays in compliance with the government. Some of that require reporting stems from making sure that the plans are updated as the regulations change. So whether it's a plan update or an amendment, that's something that has to be done by the plan provider. Only the plan provider can perform those types of plan updates. What is more, other reporting that comes into play depends on what happens within the plan. What are those items? Well, one is if you process a conversion. Oftentimes, clients like to process a mega backdoor Roth solo 401k conversion or just a conversion of pre-tax funds over to the Roth solo 401k. That's going to trigger a Form 1099-R. Also, with the passage of Secure Act 2.0, now you can make employer Roth solo 401k contributions, but those are reportable on a Form 1099-R as a taxable conversion on the personal side. So that's something that we need to be issued by the provider. What is more, a Form 5500 easily applies once the market value of the plan is greater than $250,000 as of the end of the plan year. So those type of items need to be performed from an ongoing compliance perspective. All right, let's take a look at some questions here and see what we have going on here. Keep shooting over your questions and we'll be happy to answer them live on the air. Again, that's the point of these daily webinars. We go live every day to answer questions that you might have, whether it's a self-directed IRA question or a solo 401k question. We're well versed on those regulations. So here's a question. I have an S Corp and my wife, and I have a solo 401k plan. I was wondering if I want to open another business. Can I hire people and not impact the current plan? Great question. The answer is no. Typically, if you hire a W-2 employee in any of the businesses under your control, that means that you will no longer qualify for a solo 401k plan. So you'll need to shut down the existing one and transfer it to an IRA or convert it to a full-time traditional 401k plan, which is a big difference. It's a lot more costly. It's got a lot more compliance requirements. But no, if you hire a full-time W-2 employee who's not an owner in the business who works 1,000 hours or more, or if it falls under that part-time regulation stemming from Secure Act 1.0 and 2.0 for that matter, if you have a solo 401k plan already and any of your businesses employ and a W-2 employee who works between 500 and 999 hours for 2 consecutive years, that's also another triggering event where you're going to have to close the plan down. Back to the first piece here, you cannot open a solo 401k plan or continue with the solo 401k plan that you have already if you employ any full-time W-2 employees in any of your other businesses. That falls under the control group, affiliate service group regulations. Let me see if I can send over a link that talks about those regulations so you can take a look at those more closely. Here it is, control group. It's a great page on our website that covers those rules from A to Z. We have FAQs there as well. Let me send that over to you now. All right. Um, yes, if you have a former employer Roth 401k, or if your wife is also participating in the plan, you can also transfer your former employer Roth 401k to the Roth Solo 401k. We can help you with that transfer by completing the applicable transfer form so that it's processed as a non-taxable trusted to trustee transfer. Okay. So if your wife currently participates in that current employer's 401k, then she may not be allowed to transfer any of those funds out until she separates from service. She's going to have to check with that employer because you typically have to meet a triggering event before you can transfer a former employer plan. Those trigger events are one, either no longer working for that business, or second, age 59 and a half or older. Those are the two triggering events. So again, as long as your spouse meets those triggering events, then yes, you can transfer that Roth 401k to a Roth Solo 401k as well. Okay, back to our presentation here. Go ahead and keep shooting your questions over. We'll keep on going over today's topic, which is, can I open a solo 401k on my own? So again, the answer is no. You cannot open a solo 401k on your own because you need to open it up with a company who provides solo 401k plans. We just talked about the eligibility requirements. We talked about how it depends on which solo 401k provider you use. And typically that comes down to what types of transactions you want to perform within your 401k plan. For instance, if you want to be able to take participant loans, uh, process the mega backdoor Roth solo 401k strategy, as well as invest in alternative investments like precious metals, cryptocurrency, private equity, real estate, and tax liens, to name a few, then you're going to need a self-directed solo 401k plan provider. And again, the ongoing requirements are just as important as when you open the plan because you are required to have a solo 401k plan provider going forward. Why? Because that solo 401k provider is the one responsible for those plan updates. And only the solo 401k provider can perform those plan updates. And again, there's also other reporting that comes into play, which we touched on earlier, which is Form 1099-R, 5500 easy reporting and plan updates. All right. Let's see if we have any other questions here. Looks like we don't have any other questions today. Again, please like our video, share it with others to help get the word out there, to get the word out to other solopreneurs like yourself. And again, thanks for joining today's daily webinar. We'll be back live again tomorrow. Until then, have a great rest of the day.